Good morning, guys. Again, we are here to discuss a new concept, that is PA's calculation. Very important concept, very important topic with respect to your coming joint JEE as well as NEET exam. Every year there is a questions based upon the PA's calculation, and my experiences, students feel very difficult to calculate pH of mixture of solutions. That's why today I am going to explain how to calculate pH of a mixture. The mixture can be your mixture of two strong acid, mixture can be your mixture of two strong base, or it can be a mixture of strong acid and strong base, or it can be mixture of strong acid weak base, mixture of weak acid strong base, or mixture of weak acid and weak base. Maybe I will take two videos for this particular complete sessions. One video will be very lengthy. The first video I am going to explain mixture of strong acids, mixture of strong base, mixture of strong acid and strong base. If it is possible, then I will try to cover up the mixture of strong acid and weak base. Otherwise, you need to follow the second video. Okay, let's start. First, how to calculate the mixture of strong acid. Before that, you need to have an idea. I am telling that strong acid, strong base. What does it mean? Strong acid, strong base. Weak acid, weak base. What does it mean? You need to have a clear-cut idea of that. Strong acid means the acid which dissolve in water and completely ionize into their corresponding ions. And reaction is unidirectional. That means, suppose if you take a HCl, if you dissolve in water, it break down into H plus and Cl minus. Reaction is unidirectional. If you take the nitric acid, dissolve in water, it will give you H plus and NO3 minus. NO3 minus. If you take the sulfuric acid, H2SO4, dissolve in water, it will break down into its corresponding ions. Even it can give 2 H plus ions. N factor for sulfuric acid is 2. N factor for hydrochloric acid is 1. N factor for nitric acid is 1. But if you take a acetic acid, and dissolve in water, the acetic acid maintains an equilibrium and forms H plus and conjugate base with the equilibrium sign. That means it ionizes partially. That means left hand side or right hand side, both the reactions are possible. This acid doesn't completely decompose. It maintains an equilibrium. Similarly, if you talk about benzoic acid, this benzoic acid also in water, what will happen? It will ionize as H plus and the conjugate base with an equilibrium sign. What is the basic difference between these two cases? Here reaction is unidirectional, it is only going for the forward direction. But the second case, reaction is reversible, it maintains equilibrium. That's why these acids which maintains equilibrium, which partially ionizes, they are called weak acid. And those acid which completely ionized into their corresponding ions, they are called strong acid. You should have an idea of that. Mostly we will be using, in case of strong acid, hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, sulfuric acid. Most commonly it is used in class 11-12 syllabus. And in case of weak acid, one important thing you can understand or you can identify the weak acid. All weak acid will have carbon in their formula. There is the basic tricks to understand or identify the weak acid. If I take another example, HCN, this also ionizes as H plus and Cn minus. If you take a formic acid, this will also ionize as H plus and HCO minus. Here you see, if you mark, all have the carbon in their formula. All weak acid will have carbon in their particular formula. That tricks will help you to identify the weak acid. and all strong acids completely ionize in their corresponding ions. Clear? Similarly, what's about the weak base and strong base? Weak base again it will ionize partially, it will maintain the equilibrium, but strong base it will ionize completely, no equilibrium. If I take example, strong base, sodium hydroxide, if you dissolve in water, it ionizes Na plus, NO is minus, unidirectional, no backward reaction, only the forward reaction. Similarly, if I take potassium hydroxide, dissolve in water, it decomposes K plus, NO is minus. But if I take ammonium hydroxide, again it maintains equilibrium, it ionizes partially, NH4 plus, NOH minus. This is example of weak base. Most commonly used weak base, ammonium hydroxide. Most commonly used strong base, sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. Most commonly used strong acid, hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, sulfuric acid. Most commonly used weak acid, acetic acid, benzoic acid, hydrogen cyanide, formic acid. Okay, clear? Strong acid, strong base, weak acid, weak base. Strong means completely ionizes, weak means partially ionizes. Weak means it maintains equilibrium, it maintains reversible reaction. Strong, no equilibrium, reaction is unidirectional. Clear? Now we will see how to calculate pH of a mixture of strong acid. How to calculate the pH of a mixture of strong acid. Let us take first case, calculation of pH for a mixture of strong acid. Here you see, if we have two strong acid 1, strong acid 2, strong acid 1, strong acid 2. I am considering binary mixture. Two solutions, 2 acids. It can be 3 acids also, but normally questions asked based upon the binary mixture. Okay, strong acid 1, strong acid 2. If the normality of the acid 1 is N1 and volume is V1. Similarly, normality for acid 2 is N2 and volume for acid 2 is V2. N for normality, V for volume. Don't ask me what is called normality. Now I can't explain. It will take extra time for that. I hope you know that normality, molality. These are very basic concept. Okay. N1 is the normality for acid 1, V is the volume of the acid 1, N2 is the normality for acid 2 and V2 is the volume for acid 2. Okay. This N1 V1 it is called milli equivalent. This V is in ml, they are called milli equivalent. 2 acids are added having their milli equivalent N1 V1 and N2 V2. When 2 acids are mixed, obviously the mixture will be acidic. 2 acids are mixed and both the acids are strong acid. Obviously the mixture will be acidic. Acidic means it will have H plus ions. Am I right? Yes, it will have H plus ions. The mixture will be acidic. It will have the H plus ion concentration. When 2 acids are mixed, resulting mixture is acidic. Acidic means it will contain the H plus ion concentration. That H plus ion concentration here, will be equal to N1 V1 plus N2 V2 by V1 plus V2. When 2 acids having milli equivalent N1 V1 and N2 V2 is mixed, resulting mixture will be acidic. Acidic means it will contain H plus ion concentration. The resulting H plus concentration will be N1 V1 plus N2 V2 by V1 plus V2. That is very important. Once we know the H plus ion concentration, we know the pH is nothing but pH is equal to minus log of H plus ion concentration. pH is nothing but minus log of H plus ion concentration. Once H plus concentration is known to us, we can calculate the pH. Would you follow? Let us take an example. Suppose hydrochloric acid mixed with nitric acid. Suppose this is 100 ml is mixed Suppose normality of this is 0.1, this is also 100 ml. Normality of this solution is 0.1. Therefore, milli equivalent for this, n into V, milli equivalent for this will be 10, V into n. Milli equivalent for this also will be 10. Therefore, resulting solution will be acidic. Acidic means H plus N concentration. That H plus N concentration is nothing but N1 B1 plus N2 B2 by B1 plus B2. Therefore, we are getting 10 plus 10 divided by 100 plus 100, that is 200. Therefore, what we are getting? 20 by 200. Cancel. We are getting 1 by 10, I suppose. 1 by 10. That is nothing but 10 to the power minus 1. 10 to the power minus 1. Therefore, pH equal to minus log of H plus N concentration. Therefore, nothing but minus log of 10 to the power minus 1. Nothing but it will be minus 1 will come forward. This minus 1, this minus will become plus. It will be 1. Answer will be 1. pH of this resulting mixture will be 1. Clear? One thing you should keep in mind, sometimes that concentration may give in terms of molarity. Molarity. This is, I have taken normality. Sometimes it can be given in molarity. If n factor is 1, then normality and molarity is same. But if n factor is different from 1, in that case, I suppose you know the relation. What is the relation? Normality is equal to molarity into n factor. N factor. If n factor is 1, normality equal to molarity. But if n factor is not equal to 1, n factor means how many H plus ions that acid can release at best. That's I say the n factor. In that case, normality equal to molarity into n factor. If n factor is 1, both of them are same. Otherwise, you need to convert this molarity in terms of normality. You need to convert this molarity in terms of normality. Your concentration must be in terms of normality. That point you should keep in mind. If question is given in terms of molarity, you need to convert in terms of normality. If n factor is same, normality, molarity, both of them are same. If n factor is not same, in that case, if n factor is not equal to 1, in that case, normality equal to molarity into n factor. Clear? I can take an example. If I take this, suppose this is sulfuric acid, H2SO4, and suppose this is given in terms of molarity. This is also in terms of molarity. In case of HCl, n factor is 1. Therefore, normality and molarity, both of them are same. But in case of sulfuric acid, it can release maximum 2 H plus ions that I discussed in the last videos. It can release maximum 2 H plus ions. Therefore, n factor for the sulfuric acid is 2. Therefore, this molarity need to be converted in terms of normality. Therefore, normality will be your 0.1 into 2. This will be normality. Normality equal to molarity into n factor. Molarity is 0.1 into n factor. That will give the normality. Therefore, here milli equivalent will be your 10, but here milli equivalent will be your 20. Therefore, H plus concentration will be your 10 plus 20. That is 30 by 200. Therefore, it is coming your 2 by 20 or 3 by 2 into 10 to the power minus 1. Can I write like this? 3 by 2 into 10 to the minus 1. Therefore, pH is nothing but minus log of H plus concentration, and here H plus and concentration is 3 by 2 into 10 to the power minus 1. That means it will be your minus log of 10 to the power minus 1 minus log of 3 minus log of 2. If you solve, you will get the answer. If you solve it, you will get the answer. This will be your 1. This is minus log 3. Log 3 is 0.4771 and log 2 is 0.3010. If you solve it, you will get the pH. This is how we can calculate the pH of a mixture of strong acid. Next video, we will consider how to calculate the pH of mixture of strong base, and then we will proceed mixture of strong acid and strong base like that. Okay, thank you.